Newcastle United have been linked with, what we can only describe as the sublime to the ridiculous when it comes to players. But this one seems to have a little bit of traction this time because of the sheer amount of sources that have reported it. So we'll have a look at that. Maxi's come out with an injury update. Callum Wilson's spoken about the attitude in the dressing room as we approach the run-in, and another player linked to the Toon. So let's have a look at it all right now. Hi everybody, I'm Paul. Welcome back to the Daily News on the Toon Review. Before we get into all this news, if you do enjoy today's video, guys, please don't forget to hit that like button for us and keep us up there on the search results in YouTube. And of course, if you're new, please do hit that subscribe button. You can see there we're over 19,000 now, heading to 20, and with your help, we will get there sooner rather than later. And also hit that notification bell, which will let you know when we go live or we upload any videos. Right, Raphina. A lot has been spoken about today in the press, social media, regarding Newcastle's interest in Raphina. Apparent offer, a verbal offer, mind you, not a written offer, but a verbal offer of round about £80 million. Now, £80 million today is a lot of money, obviously. But when you're talking about Raphina, he's a quality player. Now, the only issue I have is that Leeds United sold him only 1 year ago for £60 million. And he hasn't had that much of a brilliant season. Now, apparently reports in Barcelona are suggesting that he's not happy with his role at the club right now. And that's what's causing the upset and the rumours that he wants to leave the club, particularly to come back to England. Now, he was a star for Leeds, there's no doubt about that. He was one of Leeds' best players when he was there. Very entertaining, very direct, a very, very good winger. So I wouldn't be saying no to Raphina to Newcastle. It's the price tag that I have a little bit of an issue with. Again, Barcelona struggling financially, of course, that's been well known. And now wanting £20 million more for Raphina than they paid for him just a year ago. And he hasn't set the world alight in La Liga this season. I'm not saying that's his fault. Obviously, there's other reasons for that. But I just kind of, wince at the thought of £80 million. Have Barcelona, seen Newcastle coming here and said, right, if you want this guy, you're going to have to pay the £80 million for him. And Barcelona immediately making £20 million profit, which is scandalous, really, considering the situation that he's in. But as I said in the intro there, this must have gained a lot of traction because it's been reported by a lot of sources. It's not just one source. It's across the media, that we have made the offer. But it's not a written offer, it's a verbal offer. So you kind of think, well, if it's a verbal offer, who found out about it? Who was in on that phone call that Newcastle United have made this verbal offer? So, of course, with any sort of players like this, you take it with a pinch of salt until you hear something concrete that the club have, made an offer for him. But it's the amount of sources that it's come from. Some people who, yes, there's some sources on there who you think will put anything just for clicks, but there's also some really good reporters and journalists who have reported this today. So for me, it's gained traction. It's got something. I think we're definitely interested in Raphina, and there's no reason why we shouldn't go for him. It's just a price tag I have an issue with. We, of course, are going to need to build a squad next season for whatever European competition we're in. God help, it's the Champions League, fingers crossed and all that. And I'm pretty sure it will be the Champions League that we're in. We're going to need a squad, and we're going to need a squad of quality players. Now, Raphina, he's played in the Champions League this season with Barcelona, so it's not like he would be going into anything strange. He's done that. So he's got Champions League experience. Whether, how far Barcelona got, it doesn't matter. He's got that experience. So for me, I'd love to see Raphina come in and help build that squad even further, because we're going to need it. He's a good player. He's very direct. And as I say, he scored some pretty good goals for Leeds. So let me know in the comments, is Raphina somebody that you would really be excited about should he sign in the summer? Right, another player that's been linked to Newcastle United, and that is Denzel Dumfries. Now, Dumfries, he's been mentioned before, and I'm pretty sure me and Alex have covered him on transfer shows in the past that we've done. Fullback, of course, very, very good player. Now, what the reports are saying is on Denzel Dumfries is that Newcastle may look to bring him in to sort of phase out Kieran Trippier. Now, we know Trippier is, he's not getting any younger. And what they want is Denzel Dumfries, who is only 27, and they want Dumfries to spend his best years, his prime years, at Newcastle United. Now, when you take away your love for Trippier and what he's done for Newcastle United, you have to think logically about where the club are going with this, if this is to be true. Dumfries is a very, very good attacking fullback and, somebody that we could use definitely. But again, this is what I mean about transitioning. Newcastle United are going to have to be pretty ruthless with some players in the coming years if we are going to be staying up at that top tree. It's going to be a case of, as Fergie was, when we look back to how Fergie was at Man United, stars of the team, he moved on before they could blink. And everybody was criticising him, saying, what's he getting rid of? Yeah, he made a couple of mistakes, but most of the time, he was proved right in what he did by moving the players on when he did. So, Trippier, for me, he's a fabulous captain. He's done wonders since he signed for Newcastle United. He is going to be part of the squad next season, there's no doubt about it. But if they're going to be looking to bring players in, is Dumfries somebody that would think, yeah, he's 27, prime years coming at Newcastle United, and a fullback that we really could do with? Because, whatever you think about Trippier, his crossing, his set pieces aren't great. But he hasn't got long left, I think, and that's the thing that Newcastle will be looking at, the pace and whether he's got the stamina to keep going, especially with all the games that we're going to be playing. But bringing Dumfries in wouldn't be a bad idea. The Italian press are reporting, now I do stress Italian press here, we know what they're like. We know what they're like for the some of the reporting from Italy is absolute bollocks, some isn't. So I'm not saying this is a definite at all. This is just what I've read in the reports. Looking for a fee of £26 million into Milan to get him away from to Newcastle. So interesting one. But again, people say, well, we've got Ashby, we've got Kraft. Ashby's still a kid, remember. And even if Dumfries came in, Ashby would still have years left to come to fruition at Newcastle United. They may look at just sending them out on loan for a year or so. Maybe a championship side, just to get him some football. It hasn't worked with Garang Kual. Granted, that's gone really downhill. But, that might be in the Newcastle thinking. Now, Maxi has given an injury update to, of course, his hamstring. He is basically took to Instagram and said, I'm back. Now, what that means is, I have no idea. You never know with Maxi, because he puts these strange cryptic clues on Instagram, and then, we'll come to the press conference with Eddie, and Eddie will say, we don't know. Now, he says he's back. There is rumours going around that him and Longstaff will be available for Arsenal, but there's no way Maxi walks straight back into that team. There's just no way. And I think Maxi would probably realise that, and he's probably already had that discussion with Eddie Howe, that no way does he just walk back into Newcastle's first 11. He's going to have to work his arse off to get back in that first 11. We've got Willock and Joe Linton combining well there. Sometimes they've moved Isak out there, and he's done brilliantly. So it's going to be very tough for Maxi to get back in. But what it does do is it puts a massive, massive, big, strong substitutes bench together, doesn't it? When we look at who might be on the bench for the Arsenal game, you just think, wow, we've got a really strong bench, players that can actually come on and change a game, which we desperately need. So it's positive news about Maxi, definitely. Now, Callum Wilson's revealed the dressing room stance when you're talking about the Champions League. He does believe that Newcastle United have one foot in the door now for the Champions League, ready to go. However, the job is not done. And I think everybody knows the job's not done. We've got some very, very tough games coming up. Leeds away will not be an easy game, by the way, even though they've brought back, somebody older than the dinosaurs to try and get them out of relegation trouble. And we all know who that man is. And also, Arsenal this coming week on Sunday, very tough game. But I think that's a game I could see us winning because of the way we play. Arsenal hate it. They really do. The job's not done yet. I think everybody knows that. And he said the players will be given the role to make sure they get across the line. Because some of the players will probably know that they're not going to be around next season. However, they've got that sort of black and white blood in them now, so that whether they're at the club or not, they'll want to see Newcastle in the Champions League. But some of these players will be here next season, and the opportunity for them to play Champions League is a massive incentive. You know, some of these players will have dreamed of playing in the Champions League, but maybe not thought Newcastle United would be the team that they'd get there with. However, it looks like that's going to be the case. So it's positive from Callum. I like the attitude that he's come out and said, you know, the players will be still giving their all. They don't think it's done yet. Yes, we've got one foot in the door. I think everyone can agree with that we've got one foot in the door. But the job is not done. And there's a long way to go yet in this season. It's Newcastle United, guys. You know, how many times have we said it's like sitting on a roller coaster with Newcastle? You just do not know what's around the corner. But it is an enthralling ride, whichever way we go. Now, finally, another player linked, and who me and Alex have covered many, many times, is Angelo Gabriel, the Santos winger, 18-year-old, of course. Now, initially, Santos said there was no way they were selling this guy, but it's come around that Santos may have to sell due to their financial problems that they've got going on at the club at the moment. I didn't actually know of any financial issues with Santos, but apparently they will be looking to sell. And Newcastle United are certainly up there near the top of the queue as to a chance to get this young kid. He is very exciting, a brilliant, brilliant young kid. And again, it just pushes us to where we want to be with the signings that we're making. Because if you look at, you know, some of the age of some of these players coming through the door, it's brilliant to look at. There's a real buzz around the club for the future as well now, not just the present. You know, what we can do with the youngsters coming in. We've signed quite a few this season. And what I think is they'll all get a pre-season next year, and all the kids will train with the first team, of course, as well. So that can bring them on. But this Santos kid is ready to go. He's 18, but he's ready to go now. He's had first team football for, you know, good experience already, and he is ready to go. So very exciting news about that we could go to him. But look, when we talk about these players, right, we talk about them, and we hope that they sign, or at least most of them. This Cristiano Ronaldo shite, no chance. But some of these players, like we're talking about today, the likes of Raphina, Denzel Dumfries, and, you know, Santos, Gabriel there. So we've got real excitement in the Newcastle fan base now to go out and really enjoy this summer. I've already spoken to many Newcastle United fans who are massively excited to what's coming up this summer. Now listen, we may only go and get 2 or 3 players. Who knows? But I think they will know, you know, they're not stupid. Everybody at the club knows that they will need a big squad next season to go in Europe, cup competitions, Premier League. There's a lot of football to be played next season, which is great for us as fans. But the team has to be ready, and has to be ready with a blend of youth, experience, and stamina. Is what we're going to need. Fitness is going to be big. Eddie's got a big summer coming up. We know he gets those players going very early, and I think he'll be doing that again this year. So it's great, though, isn't it? It's the excitement, the buzz, everything about it is just brilliant. And you know, I can't wait to see what the summer brings. Of course, you'll get all the news right here first on the Toon Review. So let me know in the comments what you think of all those stories today, guys. And as usual, if you have enjoyed today's video, as I said at the start, please do hit that like button. It keeps us up there in the search results on YouTube. And of course, if you're new and haven't already, excuse me, please do hit that subscribe button. Completely free to do so. Come and be part of an amazing community. And also hit that notification bell, which will let you know when we go live or we upload any videos. But that's it for now, guys. We will catch you very soon. Take care.